When the gods did the work, when the gods instead of man did the work, bore the loads, the gods' load was too great, the work too hard, the trouble too much, the great Anunnaki made the Igigi carry the workload sevenfold. Anu their father was king, their counselor warrior Enlil, their chamberlain was Ninurta, their canal controller Anuji. They took the box of lots, cast the lots, the gods made the division. Anu went up to the sky, and Enlil took the earth for his people. The bolt which bars the sea was assigned to far-sighted Enki. When Anu had gone up to the sky, and the gods of the Apsu had gone below, the Anunnaki of the sky made the Igigi bear the workload. The gods had to dig out canals, had to clear channels, the lifelines of the land. The gods dug out the Tigris River and then dug out the Euphrates. In the deep, they set up, the Apsu, of the land, inside it, raised its top, of all the mountains they were counting the years of loads, the great marsh, they were counting the years of loads. For 3,600 years they bore the excess, hard work, night and day. They groaned and blamed each other, grumbled over the masses of excavated soil. Let us confront our chamberlain and get him to relieve us of our hard work. Come, let us carry the Lord, the counselor of the gods, the warrior, from his dwelling. Then, made his voice heard and spoke to the gods, his brothers, come, let us carry the counselor of the gods, the warrior, from his dwelling. Come, let us carry Enlil, the counselor of the gods, the warrior, from his dwelling. Now, cry battle. Let us mix fight with battle. The gods listened to his speech, set fire to their tools, put aside their spades for fire, their loads for the fire god. They flared up. When they reached the gate of warrior Enlil's dwelling, it was night, the middle watch, the house was surrounded, the god had not realized. When they reached the gate of warrior Enlil's dwelling, it was night, the middle watch, Ikar was surrounded, Enlil had not realized. Yet Cockle was attentive, and had it closed, he held the lock and watched the gate. Cockle roused Nusku. They listened to the noise of the Igigi. Then Nusku roused his master, made him get out of bed. My lord, your house is surrounded, a rabble is running around your door. Enlil, your house is surrounded, a rabble is running around your door. Enlil had weapons brought to his dwelling. Enlil made his voice heard and spoke to the vizier Nusku. Nusku, bar your door, take up your weapons and stand in front of me. Nusku barred his door, took up his weapons and stood in front of Enlil. Nusku made his voice heard and spoke to the warrior Enlil. O my lord, your face is sallow as tamarisk. Why do you fear your own sons? O Enlil, your face is sallow as tamarisk. Why do you fear your own sons? Send for Anu to be brought down to you. Have Enki fetched into your presence. He sent for Anu to be brought down to him. Enki was fetched into his presence. Anu, king of the sky, was present. Enki, king of the Apsu, attended. The great Anunnaki were present. Enlil got up and the case was put. Enlil made his voice heard and spoke to the great gods, "Is it against me that they have risen? Shall I do battle? What did I see with my own eyes? A rabble was running around my door." Anu made his voice heard and spoke to the warrior Enlil, "Let Nusku go out and find out the word of the Agigi who have surrounded your door." A command. 2. Enlil made his voice heard and spoke to the vizier Nusku, "Nusku, open your door, take up your weapons and stand before me. In the assembly of all the gods, bow, then stand and tell them, your father Anu, your counselor, warrior Enlil, your chamberlain Ninurta and your canal controller Anuji have sent me to say, who is in charge of the rabble? Who is in charge of the fighting? Who declared war? Who ran to the door of Enlil?" Nusku opened his door, took up his weapons, went before Enlil in the assembly of all the gods. He bowed, then stood, and told the message. "Your father Anu, you counselor warrior Enlil, your chamberlain Ninurta, and your canal controller Anuji have sent me to say who is in charge of the rabble? Who is in charge of the fighting? Who declared war? Who ran to the door of Enlil?" Enlil. Every single one of us declared war. We have put a stop to the digging. The load is excessive, it is killing us. Our work is too hard, the trouble too much. So every single one of us gods has agreed to complain to Enlil. Nusku took his weapons, went and returned to Enlil. "My lord, you sent me to." "I went. I explained. Saying every single one of us gods declared war. We have put a stop to the digging. The load is excessive, it is killing us. Our work is too hard, the trouble too much, so every single one of us gods has agreed to complain to Enlil." Enlil listened to that speech. His tears flowed. Enlil spoke guardedly, addressed the warrior Anu, "Noble one, take a decree with you to the sky, show your strength while the Anunnaki are sitting before you. Call up one god and let them cast him for destruction." Anu made his voice heard and spoke to the gods, his brothers, "What are we complaining of? Their work was indeed too hard, their trouble was too much. Every day the earth resounded. The warning signal was loud enough, we kept hearing the noise. Do tasks. While the Anunnaki are sitting before you and while Belatili the womb goddess is present, call up one and cast him for destruction." Anu made his voice heard and spoke to Nusku, "Open your door, take up your weapons, bow in the assembly of the great gods, then stand and tell them. Your father Anu, your counselor warrior Enlil, your chamberlain Ninurta and your canal controller Anuji have sent me to say who is in charge of the rabble? Who will be in charge of battle? Which god started the war? A rabble was running around my door." When Nusku heard this, he took up his weapons, bowed in the assembly of the great gods, then stood and told them, "Your father Anu, your counselor warrior Enlil,